Manchester United have just beaten Southampton 3-0 in the Premier League. Welcome to the match reaction. It is a happy day. Our weekend hasn't been ruined. It looked like it was going to be ruined in those first 30 minutes, but Man United managed to pull themselves together. But before we get into the match reaction, please do me one small favour. Smash a like on today's video. Let's try and see 1,000 likes on this episode. And if this is your first time watching, please also subscribe to the channel. Right, now let's go through the game. As I said, the first 30 minutes was appalling. Some of the worst football I've seen under Erik ten Hag. Absolutely terrible. Southampton obviously get their penalty. I don't know what Diogo Dalot was doing. Like, what came across him to think that that tackle was a good idea? But anyway, Andre Onana pulls out an absolutely unbelievable save on the penalty. Although it maybe was a little bit of a weak penalty. Still, saving a penalty isn't easy. Obviously, the pressure's on. And Andre Onana managed to step up. He saved the penalty. And from then onwards, after the penalty, the game changed. It just immediately changed on its head. We went from Southampton dominating, Southampton having a penalty, to 8 minutes later being 2-0 up. And that's why football is such an entertaining sport, I think. You know, that a team can be playing so badly, and then one event happens in the game, in this case, the penalty. Andre Onana saves the penalty, and then 8 minutes later, Manchester United are winning. After that, Southampton were down. They were down bad. There was no coming back. In the second half, you know, there wasn't really much going on. I don't think Southampton had a chance. We were completely comfortable. They looked tired. They looked deflated. They looked like they couldn't, you know, combat us. But I think overall, I'm still happy. 3-0 is a big result for Manchester United, I think. And I know people are like, it's only Southampton. We're Manchester United. I don't buy into that anymore. It's complete rubbish. Any game in the Premier League is difficult. And all you have to do is go and look at Manchester United's head-to-head record against Southampton, okay? And this is the best way to have this conversation. In the last 5 games against Southampton, we've only won once. Every other game we've drawn. So all these people who are like, oh, it's only Southampton. What are you talking about? The last 5 matches, home and away, we've beat them once. Every other time has been a draw. And before people say, oh, that's because Erik ten Hag's not very good and all the rest of it, most of these times, Erik ten Hag wasn't even the manager. The last time we beat them, Erik ten Hag was the manager. So, yeah, I'm happy. 3-0 was obviously decent. I think that puts us back to 0 goal difference now, which I know I shouldn't be celebrating that, but, you know, I think, let me just double check that. Yeah, so we're now on 0 goal difference. We've scored 5 and we've conceded 5. We're on 6 points out of 4 games. What's that? 1.5 point a game. I mean, it's still not amazing, is it? But I'm happy. Like, whenever Manchester United win, I'm happy. I think from 30 minutes on, I think we were convincing. I think we were the better team. I feel a little bit sorry for Southampton, to be honest, because if that penalty had gone in, the momentum was behind them. They might have then gone on to win the game. But that, as I said, that is why football is such a beautiful game, because literally one moment in a match can completely change the script. And in this case, it changed in Manchester United's favour. But how is everybody feeling after that result? Let me know in the comment section. I can see someone saying that Man United are now on a title charge. There you go. Someone's obviously very happy. Someone's weekend hasn't been ruined. Sadiq says Harry Maguire was hobbling. Yeah, that's the only kind of negative from that game. It looks like Mazraoui got injured. It looks like Martinez got injured. De Ligt, apparently it was just cramp, so he should be fine. But it also looks like Harry Maguire is also injured. So it looks like we might have lost 3 centre-backs. Sorry, 3 defenders in one game. Maguire, Mazraoui and Martinez. But the one thing we have to remember is, okay, the next game that we've got is midweek. We play Barnsley in the League Cup. I mean, I'd expect Johnny Evans to play that game. I would have Casemiro at centre-back in that game. I would have, like, do you know what I mean? I would completely change the team for this game against Barnsley in the midweek, because we don't need to put out our best team against Barnsley. I'm sorry. Like, Barnsley are a League One side. They're not even in the Championship. Like, you should be able to play people like Johnny Evans, people like Anthony, people like Toby Collier, who else? I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head, but you get the point I'm trying to make here. I would even go as far as saying you could give Harry Amas a game in that a go in that game against Barnsley. You know, like all of the people on the bench, Manuel Ugarte, Anthony, like all of those people should be starting against Barnsley. So although it's worrying and concerning that Martinez seems to be injured, Mazraoui seems to be injured, we should be able to have some options in relation to rotation. So hopefully, I would probably do Dalot at right back. And then you would probably do Harry Amas at left back, I guess, something like that. And then obviously you could put Casemiro and Johnny Evans as your two centre-backs. Obviously Luke Shaw, Lindelof, Højlund, Mount, Malacia and Lenny Yoro are all still injured. So there's still quite a few players missing. But let's focus on this game. Manchester United have just won 3-0. Very convincing performance. I can see someone in the chat saying, how did Joshua Zirkzee play? Joshua Zirkzee was unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. He offers us way more than scoring goals. And I think that Joshua Zirkzee is going to be an unbelievable signing for Manchester United. Like, I really, really do. And I can understand why he says that he's, this kind of hybrid between a number 9 and a number 10. Because his hold-up play, his link-up play, his ability to bring other people into the game is unbelievable. We don't have anybody like that. Like, Højlund isn't really like that, I don't think. Højlund's obviously very clinical in front of goal, but I think his hold-up play is a little bit poor at times. Joshua Zirkzee did miss a really, really good opportunity to score. I do feel a little bit sorry for him. We could have easily won this game 4 or 5-0. We had lots of other opportunities to score. And if you look at the XG and the stats and stuff, we completely dominated them. Our XG was 3.5. Theirs was 1.16. We had 20 shots. Southampton only had 6. Do you remember last season, right? And people say that we're not improving, blah, blah, blah. Last season, every single team in the Premier League was having 20 shots against us. Every game, without fail. No matter who it was. It might be Luton. It might be Burnley. Every team in the Premier League was getting 20 plus shots against us in every single match. Southampton had 6 shots today against us. We had 20. And we had 57% possession and they had 43. So I think overall it was a pretty dominant performance after the first 30 minutes. The first 30 minutes were shaky. The first 30 minutes, the game could have gone either way. That still is concerning, and that is something that Erik ten Hag needs to look at and address. But as soon as the game opened up and as soon as we got those first 2 goals, Southampton couldn't come back. And I mean, when you think about it and when you look at Southampton's team, their team is pretty poor. Realistically, let's be honest. Let's not over-egg the pudding. But as I said, we've only beat Southampton once in the last 5 times. 4 times we've drawn and 1 time we've won. So, there's people who are like, oh, they're bottom of the league. That doesn't matter. Anybody can beat anybody in the Premier League, apart from Man City, who just beat everybody. But, any other team other than Man City can win and lose any game. And that's why football's entertaining. And that's why people watch it, because it's competitive. It's unpredictable and people don't know what's going to happen. So this kind of narrative that Man United should beat every single team, I just don't believe in that anymore, And I think that the Premier League is so competitive and there's so much distribution of wealth now amongst the teams that a Southampton could beat a Man United. Or last season we lost 3-0 to Bournemouth at home. Things happen. So 3-0 away from home with a packed out St Mary's Stadium. That's a decent result for Manchester United. It is. I saw a stat earlier on today that Erik ten Hag has only won, I think it was 16 games away from home out of about 40 games. So his away record isn't particularly great. So to get a 3-0 victory here is really, really good, I think. And if you actually think about it now in the bigger picture, we were very, very unlucky to lose that game against Brighton. And imagine if we hadn't have lost that game against Brighton. I know we can't change the past, but we lost that game against Brighton in unfortunate circumstances. If we'd have not lost that, it would have been 2 wins, a draw, and 1 loss against Liverpool, which isn't terrible. I think that Brighton result kind of just messed us over a little bit. But yeah, I'm really, really happy. As I said, first 30 minutes I thought was terrible, but after that, I think we were dominating. Manuel Ugarte, great that he got about 20 minutes. I think Eriksen, first 30 minutes was awful, but then as the game kind of progressed, he kind of settled into it. In relation to who the best players were, I thought Andre Onana obviously made a really good save for the penalty. He didn't really have to do too much after that. Mazraoui I thought was decent again. Matthias de Ligt would probably be my man of the match. He looked absolutely unbelievable today. Really happy he got his goal. Obviously he had a lot of criticism from the Dutch media after his performance for the Netherlands in the international break. So I'm really happy for Matthias de Ligt. Obviously got a goal. I think he did get man of the match actually on TNT Sport, so fair play to him. I thought Dalot was a little bit average, to be honest. The penalty he gave away was, I'm going to be honest, terrible. Don't think Dalot was particularly great. Martinez, solid, composed, everything you expect from Martinez. Very good performance. Eriksen in the first 30 minutes, I thought was pretty terrible, to be honest. Him and Mainu together were awful, but it did kind of pick up. So I'm not going to be too critical on Christian Eriksen. I think, yeah, first 30 minutes, Eriksen awful. Second, rest of the game, he was okay. Bruno Fernandes, I thought was very, very good. That cross that he put in for the Matthias de Ligt goal was absolutely beautiful. Mainu, I thought, looked a little bit out of his depth in the first half. He looked a bit tired. But in all fairness, he's playing alongside Christian Eriksen. You've got Christian Eriksen playing as a number 6, who, let's be honest, can barely even play in his correct position, let alone as a number 6. So I'm not going to be too critical of Kobbie Mainoo. You know, I think he's still very young. He's 19, and he's effectively having to do like 2 or 3 people's jobs, because all of the people that we have at the moment to pair alongside Kobbie Mainoo aren't good enough. Like Manuel Ugarte obviously is, but he's not ready yet fitness-wise. So yeah, Mainoo, it wasn't his best game, but when you think of the circumstances and you think that he's having to play alongside Christian Eriksen, like, you can't really blame him. Rashford, obviously he took his goal very well. I thought to begin with Rashford was very quiet, but the thing with Marcus Rashford is he's the kind of player who blows hot and cold. Once he gets that one goal, I think Marcus Rashford will build on it. I think he will now probably get some more goals going forward. So yeah, happy for Marcus Rashford. And then who else have we got? Joshua Zirkzee, I thought was unbelievable. I think his link-up play, his build-up play, absolutely world class. Really, really annoyed though that he didn't score that goal. I think, you know, that would have topped off the performance if he'd have got that goal. He should have scored realistically. Very, very unlucky. And then Diallo, Ahmad, I thought was unbelievable. Again, absolutely unbelievable. Ahmad's quality, absolutely quality. And he should be the first name on the team sheet, I think, going forward. Like, there's no excuses not to play him now. I think for me, Amad Diallo is the starting right winger for Manchester United, and there's no arguments. There isn't anyone else. Anthony definitely isn't even part of that conversation. Rashford is better on the left, and Garnacho is better on the left. So it looks like Ahmad has really, really cemented his, his place as the right winger for Manchester United. But yeah, 3-0 Manchester United. Really, really happy about that. I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. I will be back tomorrow. I don't think there'll be a video tonight because I'm going to go out now. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Normal business will resume from Monday onwards, as always. I hope everyone has a lovely day. Please make sure to drop a like before you leave. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. This has been Daily Red Devil. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Your weekend has not been ruined, which is amazing, and I'll speak to you all later. Bye for now.